Hi everybody, welcome back to Brilliant Minds with a big old question mark. I'm Olivia and this is my beautiful business partner.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
And we are out on the prowl as usual, off the clock, no longer being therapists, thank God.
The prowl is real.
Yeah. And I'm very, very, very excited today because I get to claim absolute nepotism and favoritism at the same time and welcome my super awesome best friend Andrew, who has been in more school than anything else in his life.
It's my whole life. All of it.
It is your whole life. One of kind of like the main things that we were going to talk to Andrew a little bit about is just like navigating the educational system, being neurodivergent, because you've been to more school again than like anyone I'll ever know. I feel like you're probably a really good person to ask. So just to get everyone up to speed, even though I already know a lot of the answers to these questions, when did you originally get diagnosed as being neurodivergent?
I got diagnosed almost exactly 3 years ago. Like 3 years and like 2 weeks, I think, is something close to that. So I only found out pretty recently.
So you're like super late diagnosed.
We
Yeah.
love our
like,
late
wow,
diagnosers.
I'm really struggling to like do things, but I don't feel depressed anymore. The self-loathing's like decreased. So like, why am I struggling so much? And then like, journey.
Yeah. Did you have any like inkling before you got diagnosed that you had anything? No.
Because I have no insight to myself at all. So
But what did you think it was?
I thought I was just an idiot. I thought I was lazy, to be honest.
Question, though, for some context for me. Explain how much schooling you've been in. Because Olivia just keeps saying you've been in so much school.
Oh, that's fair. So right now I'm getting my PhD in economics at the University of Colorado. I'm working on that. Right before this, I got a master's in economics and MPhil at University of Oxford, so in Oxford in the UK. And my goal originally was to try and continue the PhD there, which for them in the US it's like all-inclusive 5 years, but at Oxford it's principally like 2 separate years of that master's and 3 years of the PhD, or the research portion rather. So I finished the first 2 years. I got in to continue, yay me, but then they didn't fund me and I didn't have like $250,000 laying around.
That's fair.
I couldn't stay. Unfortunate. Still mourning that dream a little bit. Before that, I was working for 4 years and had hunted for a job for 1 before that. And then I'd done a 1-year master's degree in development economics. And then right before that, I went to that master's directly after my undergrad. Right before that, I triple majored. So I technically have 2 bachelor's degrees. I did in mathematical business economics, Japanese, and political science. And I had minors in international affairs and Asian studies. I schmoozed all the department heads being like, oh my god, wouldn't this like totally count for this? There's a cat. Sorry, there's a cat.
It's okay, we know you have ADHD. We already covered that.
I live below ground, for those who don't have context. Like, I have a window, but there's barely any. I just showed them earlier. And so seeing anything is quite shocking.
So he's been in a lot of school.
I have done so much.
Yeah.
School.
And he also voluntarily like does other things. Like he speaks Japanese and also is like voluntarily learning French as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually
Do you think you'll ever
class.
not be in school?
I better. I
don't
make it
know.
much further.
This
They're paying me now.
trajectory seems telling.
I found out, like 2 days ago, that someone, like people in the business school make $1,000 more a month than me. I'm really angry about that. Anyway, so sorry. But
Wow.
yeah, I better be done soon because I might kill myself if I keep taking classes. Like, I can't handle it anymore. Especially because I struggle with it so much. It's like very difficult for me. Like languages are easier, I think, for me generally, but like it's like takes so much out of me that like my quality of life, like like when I'm in school, I do it because it's like important.
I will say, I do think it's interesting that you just thought you were an idiot, but you have this many degrees.
Right. Yeah.
Idiocy runs eternal. I thought that forever.
That was a very like therapist-y thing of me to say. I am off the clock.
With me, there's plenty of personalities to go around. For being back on the clock, don't worry.
So because you were later diagnosed, like if you compared your time in education, like in high school, college, and all that, like getting your first master's. That's such a stupid sentence, getting your first master's.
Yeah, I agree.
And you compare that being undiagnosed, unmedicated, the whole thing, to navigating getting, like the educational system, getting your master's and all that with a diagnosis. Like, how do those two experiences compare at all?
So for context for all the people who don't know me that are going to be watching this. Both of my master's degrees were in the UK. So the UK has kind of like a very different system in a lot of ways. But my second master's was in Oxford, so it was a touch hard. There was some serious psychological warfare going on there that I'm still recovering from. But I don't know, like, describe it. There's certain aspects of it that like made it a lot easier, right? Like getting extra testing time and stuff, because like I do well in like essay writing things when I can kind of just stream of consciousness, like throw things together. But especially for like math, which economics is, especially at this level, is effectively just an applied math degree, which math has always been my worst subject. So it's yeah. Anyway, sorry. That makes a huge difference, because then I can be a lot slower and meticulous, and I'm way less likely to make dumb mistakes that just like destroy me, right? So that's been like a really big improvement.
And I'm like really like making you reach back to like
there's
years
fewer
ago.
like, even Olivia knows this, that like especially my first year at Oxford was like a living hell, because it was really hard for me to get my medication and all sorts of other things that were going on. I was just an absolute husk, which you can get more to later if you want to. But before I got diagnosed, there were like moments of critical failure where I basically almost failed out. I had that happen in high school, or maybe not failed out, but like critical failure. It's like my senior year of high school, one of the banes. There's two books that are the bane of my existence. Wuthering Heights. I cannot tell you how many times I tried to read that book. I would sit there and reread the same page. I think I maybe got 30 pages in. I tried so hard. Countless hours trying to read that book. But I'd write an essay for it. I just physically couldn't do it. I didn't end up turning in an essay, so I got a 0 on it. So there was a point where I wasn't going to pass my senior English class, and I wouldn't have been able to graduate. I don't think I told anyone about that at the time. I managed to pull through, and then I like murdered, that was like an AP English class, and then I like murdered that AP exam, so get good. My grade got changed in the end, I think. Not that I bothered checking after that. But, and then my first year of undergrad also, there's other like extenuating circumstances to this too, but I really, really, really struggled, particularly with like doing a lot of homework. Like I had, ironically, my first statistics class, I almost failed. I think I got like a D or something like that in it. Because I just couldn't bring myself to do the homework. Like I tried. I like killed the exams, I understood the material, I just couldn't do it. Yeah, and then that led me to lose my scholarship effectively, which I was able to appeal and get it back, and then I killed it thereon. I killed my personal well-being too, because like any free time I had, I just filled, and that's how I was for a long time, and I still sort of am, I guess, compared to most people, but compared to my past, I'm so much better about it. But,
well, you had like 3 majors and 2 minors or something stupid, so
yeah. Easy. No, not easy. The political science one was comparably easy. I got an A in every political science class I ever took. I loved that.
Look at you.
Wish I was that good at math!
I mean, you actually touched on something that I was curious about, because I've seen more like recent commentary, ironically, through social media, of different people talking about what accommodations are actually helpful for people that are neurodivergent in different educational programs or systems, right? Like high school or college or higher education, all that. And since I never got accommodations, because I was also late diagnosed, and I will never go back to the educational system, whereas you seem to be paying tribute constantly.
I am the poster child for abusive relationship with me.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
I will never leave him, baby. Like, I just won't. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's my
There's a
fault.
codependency happening here.
Yeah. I threw myself into the door sill. It's my fault.
So I'm curious, like, what accommodations are helpful for you, or like what accommodations have you had, and which ones have actually like been helpful for you?
Honestly, the only accommodation I've literally, okay, that's not true. I've had one other here, but at least at Oxford, the only accommodation, which is I got diagnosed. The stuff before that, the first master's in my undergrad, I wasn't diagnosed for, so I didn't get any issue other than trauma. But that's how I get humor. But so at Oxford, I literally just got testing time. That was it.
That was it. So just like more time. That was all.
Yeah. I could have maybe tried to.
No, I'm curious, because like even all schools do this a little bit differently. Did you have extra time in conjunction with your peers, or were you like separated out and tested at a completely different time on your own with extra time? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. I was in a separate space it depended on the exam.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like standardized?
Yeah, no, not at Oxford at least. For the big first year exams, I was separate with the other special kiddos in a smaller room. Which, they had like this crazy examination school that was like Baroque palace, and like that being the place where your dreams die, basically, that you like see this not going well, because it's 100% of your grade, right? That's like really like angelic singing in the background, like, take me away. But the first year I was separate for all of them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The second year ones, no. There were some that I took in like a huge room and other people just left before me. And there was one guy who typed unbelievably loud. I usually don't get bothered by sound that much.
During a test, though?
Yeah, it was like...
test?
Let me make sure I don't like...
Nightmare.
It was insane. Like, I couldn't believe he didn't break the keyboard immediately. Or she, I don't know who it was.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't know why it's so like interesting to me, because I've never gotten accommodations, and also like everyone's flavor of neurodivergence is so different, because I'm trying to think about myself accommodations wise for tests, and like being separated out would be harder for me.
Yeah. I like having background noise generally, like,
right.
So I don't super love being separated out. Like the sound of people leaving, fine. I don't want that maybe, but yeah. And then here I also they had like a note-taking service called like Genio that I use sometimes to like record the lectures. I didn't take video of it, but I recorded the audio. And I did that faithfully for the first term.
Are you not normally allowed to record the lectures?
Well, I guess I could ask, but they don't typically. I don't know why here.
Oh, so you're like not allowed, so you literally have to get an accommodation to record.
Yeah, and it's like supposed to be more powerful of like it can like you can like make notes at the same time, and like it can do other cool things too, but it's really contrary to how I learn anyway. I basically just have to like repetition into the absolute dirt and like make flashcards and just drill, so it wasn't helpful for me.
Okay, what is this tool? I'm so confused.
Genio?
But is it like a physical thing, or is it...
No, it's a computer thing, so it's on the computer.
Oh, like it's like a program.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Andrew, and I can descript. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, it's like
is it a pen? Is it a pair of glasses? Like, is it
it's like,
megaphone? Like, what is it?
It's the meta glasses. It's just you put them on and you...
That'd be way more convenient. No, it's basically just like
that?
a computer program. So like I had my laptop open in class, and I'd set it to record, and I'd also take like hand notes on like a separate application. But you can do that too on it. It's just like much less convenient, and it can do other things too. It can transcript things as well. It can do a lot of stuff, but it's just like rewatching the lecture's not going to help me much.
I guess I'm just like curious. To me, that doesn't really feel like an accommodation, because anyone could use that and the professor would have no idea, right?
But it's an accommodation. They gave it to me for free. That's the accommodation.
I wonder if that has to do with like recording laws in different states, because like in Arizona, you don't have to ask for permission to record anyone, but in Washington State, there's a I don't remember the name of the law, but there is a law.
Yeah, it's like you can only do audio or like video with no audio or something like that. But if it's like both, you have to ask or something.
I looked it up for medical appointments for just audio, and in Washington State, I had to ask every single provider. But here in Arizona, I can record without them knowing.
You live in Arizona?
Curious.
Oh, you're so far.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wonder if that's why it's like considered an accommodation, maybe in specific settings. Because I've heard that too, that those are like recording devices are accommodations.
Yeah. At Oxford, basically everything was recorded. Or at least in theory was recorded.
It also just like makes it makes sense to just record things. Like, why are we not recording lectures? Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't anyone use that?
I think the psychosis is that it encourages people to like come to class if you don't record it, because then they're actually missing stuff. Whereas like
so it's
no one will show up if it's like just available.
So it's like parallel of capitalism. You're paying us, so you must come.
Yeah, that's interesting. Was it challenging to get accommodations?
Here, no. It was so easy.
That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah, I like sent an email to like the disabled peeps. I was like, "Hey Queen, here's my diagnosis letter." Yeah, I was like, "Here's my diagnosis letter, like drop. Please help me." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, we need to like schedule a phone call." Did that like within 2 weeks, I think, if not faster than that. And then they're like, "Oh yeah," and I was talking about, I think I got like a quarter more time or something at Oxford, and I get more here. And like the person had seen that, they're like, "Oh, I don't know why they would give you more time than that. This is our default." And I just like, and then she's like, "Okay, well you'll get a determination letter." Boop. They also like have housing also can be an accommodation, like guaranteed housing, but that's only if you like are more like pro-disabled than me. If you have like physical disabilities that need to be accommodated, rather than just like no executive function for apartment searching. So
I still feel like hopefully in the future we could like umbrella that in, because that's so real though.
I love trying to hunt for places. It's really easy.
Yeah. Okay, but then you alluded to like Oxford was not easy
Mm-mm.
to get an accommodation.
I reached out to the accommodations people, I think in like June before I went, something like that, maybe July. Well, I found out I didn't have housing in like the end of July, or like end of July, and I was moving there like the second week of September or something like that. I was like, okay, cool. Whatever it was. No, maybe later, even later than that. I don't remember. I had like a month. I remember having like just a month to find a place, which is not enough because like all the cheap places book out.
And not
Which
enough
ended
time
up
for a
leading-
neurodivergent person either. Like,
Yeah, which ended up leading me to find the cheapest place I could afford, but then I had roommates that never did dishes or anything like that, so I couldn't cook. So then I also, in my college, I had to book my meals ahead of time, which led to me skinny. Like, I'd forget to book my meals ahead of time for, like, lunch and dinner. I eventually found out that lunch you can show up and get, like, a pasta option at least, but dinner you couldn't. So I couldn't cook at home. I couldn't get, like, the cheaper meals at my college, so I lost, like, 20 pounds in 8 weeks. But, yeah. Atkins ain't got
don't
shit
get a
on this.
GLP-1.
Yeah.
Go to college
Yeah.
instead.
Go
And
to
just
Oxford. You'll get
yeah,
so skinny.
that's what we call the ADHD tax. You just got ADHD taxed weight loss.
Nailed it. Am
Yeah.
I pretty now? So I eventually like just kind of never heard from them.
My gosh.
I reached out several times and I just like didn't get anything. And then she's not dead, but rest in power, Eleanor, the former disability advisor at my Oxford's divided into a lot of different colleges. So there's like 40 of them. So I was in like one specific one under that umbrella. So the person in charge of like disability stuff for like the graduate students, Eleanor, who ended up becoming my roommate. She's a queen. Love her. I asked her like when I found her and heard like, yeah, I'm a disability rep. I was like, please help me, please. And she was able to like hunt people down for me. And then I got like, but that took until, which granted the exams are in June and I didn't really get anything.
So it took like a year?
No, I got the determination in like November or December, but the exams were in like April, actually I'm a liar, April. So it took a long time. So it took like 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's like 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
It took me longer to get my medication through the NHS, so that was fast.
Oh my gosh. Wild. That's wild.
If you could create an additional accommodation to what you already have, is there anything else you would want?
Is like me actually holding professors accountable to their syllabus and accommodation.
Let's see, how can we
Because,
reframe that?
Well, this sounds so bad, but I'm serious in that, like, whenever I don't actually know all the content that they want, or, like, if there's, like, the referencing readings, too, that was, like, never on anything else, like, I can't plan appropriately, right? And that really, really matters, and it's not like I can necessarily, like, summon the extra effort to, like, plow through extra readings or anything like that. And I'm, like, for me, it always takes me, like, I feel like more than twice as much effort than almost anyone else learn the same material. So I have to do the readings and stuff, and I have to do all these other things to, like, be able to try and understand it, and then, like, yeah.
So basically like more clear or direct
Yeah,
expectations.
so it's like I can actually appropriately plan.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
That is a job accommodation I've actually helped someone get.
Accountability? What an accommodation.
We didn't word it that way, but there's like, have either of you heard of the JAM network? It's the Job Accommodation Network.
Mm-mm.
It's a website, and you can go on it, and you can click whatever disability you have, ADHD, autism, physical disabilities, everything, and it will give you recommendations of things that you can ask for job accommodations on, and it's got everything. And so we used that to kind of navigate, like, the autism piece of, I need clear direction from my supervisor. How do I ask for that? And that was how we, like, navigated that and worded that in their accommodation. So it's like, it could be, but it depends on how educated the Disability Service Center is.
That also reminds me, like, exams and stuff that are clearly worded and stuff. That's actually been, like, a really ongoing, like, struggle of mine, too. Of, like, especially for, like, econ problems, it's like, what am I allowed to assume? What am I not? Like, what are, the frameworks? Like, I have to make assumptions to be able to solve these problems because they're always trying to make extensions, right? But it's not necessarily obvious to me, like, which route they want me to take. It's all a decision, and then if I get bogged down on that one, I don't finish the problem, or it takes me way longer, right?
Oh,
There's,
I
like,
feel
this sort
that
of
in my soul.
presumption. Yeah. Like, there's sort of presumption that I'll choose the right way, or, like, the right framework of looking at this, when there's not necessarily tons of information given. Oxford, my Oxford exams were very that way. Very that way. But the ones here are a bit better about it, mostly because they're longer. Which is like,
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Basically, like, their perception is that it's easily understood, or like, it's easy, or like, their perception is that everyone would assume the same thing, which is just like.
Which is not. And I get destroyed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I always make the different choice every time. I just, it's just how it is.
That's rough. Yeah. I mean, like, I was thinking about what accommodation would help me, and I was like, nothing in comparison to what you're talking about. I was like, I just want to be able to listen to music.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that. That'd be nice, too. Because especially really silent exam rooms, like, I struggle with. There's also...
And then if you have longer time, like, having more time would be terrible for me. And this is, like, actually commentary that I've seen, is that, like, for people that are ADHD... or like ADHD is like that's the primary barrier, more time is worse for them.
I want the illusion of more time. Like I want in the sense of like I want more time, but I'm not going to use that entire time. Like for my therapist exam, I think I had like 3.5 hours or something, and I did it in an hour and a half. But knowing that I had 3.5 hours was like, I like actually feel good about this. But I would add to that, like having breaks to like get up and do something and then come back to it would be
well, and that was like the accommodation piece that I saw for ADHD folks, is that like instead of having more time, being able to take breaks and stop the testing time and like get up, move around, like look out the window, like not have their phone or any of that, but like how that's infinitely more helpful than more time.
I don't know if that would necessarily help me, just because, well, especially like a lot of the problems are so long, it'll take me well over an hour to like solve them and stuff, right? So if I break that up, I kind of like, especially my working memory is really bad, so once I pick everything up and able to like internalize it, like I've had so many times where I'm just staring at a problem and like I can't hold all the information at once, so I just keep rewriting like all of the framing of it until I can actually like internalize it, which is always frustrating because it's like, would love to make progress. So, like, breaking that, like, once I have it, if I break that, getting back into it's so extremely difficult for me. One thing, this isn't school, but
that's true.
Work accommodation, like, remote work was huge before I got, like, my medication and stuff. That was, like, tremendous.
What was good about it?
On, like, the bad days that, like, I couldn't, like, end up facing most of the world, I could still at least, like, log on and do some stuff and just, like, accept a later start time, like, not get penalized for it and still be productive rather than trying to, take a sick day. Just because I can't get out of bed by 7:30, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Flexible start times for work accommodations too need to be more common. Like, that was a game changer for me when I started doing my own thing.
Which is one of the things that sucks about academia, is like you have to show up to this class at this time.
Right.
Which most of mine aren't that early. I did have an 8 a.m., but I quite liked it. And I had a decent attendance in it. I was like, they like me.
I think that's why I did really well with online school, was because I like didn't have to go to, like, during the last half of my master's, I did have to go to a class, but like it was at the end of the day, so it was so much easier. But doing online school, I could just be like, I'll do it after work. Like, would do it whenever I want to.
Yeah, I think online school worked for me so well because I was homeschooled and I already knew, I had already had to learn how to set my own routine, essentially.
Yeah, it's generally terrible for me because I don't focus well at home, mostly. So.
I mean, I wouldn't say I focus
That's fair too.
Great at home, but, you know, like...
Yeah. I can go to cafe, to be fair. That's what I do.
Yeah. I love working at a cafe. My gosh.
That's basically...
Cafe Denver. My peeps live there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, anytime I know that you're studying, you're at a cafe. Like, you never study at home.
Yeah. Very rarely.
I love
It has
that.
to be super light.
There's something about, like, barista sounds that are, like, oddly, like...
I agree.
I don't know.
It's like the background sound that's like not like distinct enough such that you can pick out words really in conversations and like your brain wants to focus on it. Like for me, there's like the part that like wants stimulation that it's like there are things going on and it's like, okay, go play. Get out of my way.
Yeah, but if the music is too loud, I gotta go. I gotta go do something like somewhere else. Like I will go coffee shop to coffee shop until it feels right. I've done it.
I get too distracted in coffee shops. It's like I just go into like people watch mode. I can't. It's like it's too much stimulus. I don't know. That's like bonkers to me. I can't work in a cafe
We
at
can
all.
work together. We can betray.
I work so well in coffee shops. It's kind of bananas.
I just don't. That's okay. That's okay. I don't need more time for test taking. You know, the exam I had to take for my license, we got 4 hours to do my exam, like the social work exam, and I did it in 40 minutes.
Get schooled. Wow! Just dunk on them. Peasants,
Okay,
all in your
nerd.
way. My god. Who needs an hour for... I think the exams I took for my prelims, I think my prelims were like over 4 hours each.
But I remember getting through, like, okay, background. Testing is not generally something I really struggle with. I don't generally get a lot of, like, testing anxiety. Like, usually tests come down to, like, memorization. And at least up in my schooling, like, if it was just a matter of memorizing something, then I would just run it into my brain just an insane amount of times until I could remember it. Because, like, my working memory isn't great. But I was like, oh, if this is just a matter of, like, will to memorize it, fine. Like, I can do that. But I'm also not doing, like, these insane mathematic questions that Andrew is doing. That, like,
I don't think I'm doing them. I think they're doing me. I am not the driver in that process. There's some prayers to any god that'll listen. There's, like, a little pentagram to summon, like, the demons that will, like, bestow the power I need. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Mascara just running.
I mean, I kind of surprised myself with the exam, too. Like, I just got through. I also know myself well enough to know that if I go back, I'll end up doubting myself and end up picking the wrong answer. So, like, that's also something I learned about myself is, like, I can't going back makes it worse. But I remember I got out of the exam and I, like, texted my husband and I was like, hey, like, I passed. And he was like, you took it already? Like, I feel like you just got there.
Trivial. Easy.
I remember even the lady was like, do you want to check your I'm like, no. I'm good.
I took an hour and a half, and my mom still said something like that to me.
You did it in half the time? Mouth breathing.
Well, her exam is different than mine. We have different exams, technically. So.
Yeah. They're both pretty shitty, though.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, they're stupid. I remember I did the math of, I think the exam, I can't remember how many questions were on the exam. I want to say it's 100 and, was it over 200 questions?
Mine was over 200. Mine was 300 and 25% were throwaways.
Or test questions.
Mm-hmm.
You did 200 questions in 40 minutes. Do you know what pace that is?
Yeah.
That's...
Math nerd.
It was about 45 minutes, yeah. I think the social work one is 240.
You solved a question every 12 seconds. On average. 60 seconds a minute, 40 minutes. You solved a question every 12 seconds, Olivia.
I did it under an hour for sure. I know that. Hands down.
Fine. 14 seconds, whatever.
It says the current one is 170 questions.
170. Okay. That's what I was like. It's
blistering.
It's 170, but only 150 or 140, I think, are actual questions that it matters what your answer was.
Yeah. Oh,
I really
was
hate
200.
that. 200, yeah. Okay, so this is something to know, Andrew, is on the exam, there's test questions. That's something that's really frustrating to me, is they're literally just test questions that it doesn't matter how you answer, but you don't know which questions are test questions.
Yeah, because they're
test questions. Could you imagine if you had that on your exams?
Well, I only have 6 questions. Where would they put it? It's parts A through Z. Where would they put it?
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
One of these is not like the other.
Yeah. Sacrifice my firstborn to answer the 4th question. I've got more kids to give.
Oh my gosh. So I have to look at the stats because I don't want to completely misinterpret or not be accurate to what's out there, but I saw some initial stats around how many neurodivergent people actually have master's degrees and have higher education, and it's a really low percentage of people that are getting masters and graduate degrees that are neurodivergent. It's a really low number.
Are we talking diagnosed neurodivergent people?
I'm not quite sure. I saw the statistic and I was looking at it a little bit, and I didn't look too much more into it. So I don't want to. I was I think I saw something around it was less than 10%.
Good. They should run. I don't recommend this choice.
But
I don't know why
I'd
I'm
have...
surprised.
Yeah. Well, it's surprising and not surprising at the same time. And why I
Yeah.
think it's surprising is because I think neurodivergent people, when they like really want something and they can get after it, especially like if it's a special interest or something that they're really passionate about, like they could totally do it. But I can also see why like maybe more people that are neurodivergent don't do it because they've had so many challenges with
It's hard.
like education
Yeah.
in general or like navigating that system.
It's so hard.
Which kind of like leads me to a question for you of, have you found that generally to be the case that most of the people in these like graduate programs with you are not neurodivergent?
This one's kind of atypical because I've met like several people that are neurodivergent in this one. Granted, I don't know if they like sat down with psychiatrists and got actually diagnosed, or if they're being like hot girl TikTok girlies being like, oh my gosh, sometimes I don't focus, I have the ADHD. But presuming since at least 2 of them got actual accommodation, I would assume they're actually diagnosed. But
2 out of
Oxford,
how many though?
8. There's 8 of us. There's 8 PhD students in my year. And then, but at Oxford, yeah, there was few. I met in my program. Knowingly, I met one other person with ADHD that I knew they did, and they took a break on the second year. They didn't complete the second year. I don't know if they're done now or what's going on with that, but yeah, they took a break. They couldn't do it all in one fell swoop. Something, I don't know if it was like family thing or something going on, but in my program. And then broadly, I met one other person with ADHD. Shout out Rotem, who did a master's. Hers was 1 year, mine wasn't 2. And I don't know if there are anyone others, but those are the only people I like.
Really
I
new.
met a couple other, I guess, in my college because I became the disability advisor and I bought tea for them. There's not many. There's very few.
Yeah.
And if they are I actually went to a disability conference thing at Oxford as like one of the representatives, and like I kind of fucking hated it. Because the whole thing was like, oh my gosh, like, people have special interests and, like, really look at things. Like, that's just called academia. Ha, 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 ha. And I was, like, pretty pissed about it. I was like, oh, yeah, really gonna feel fucking superpower about having fucking autism. No, there's one other person. Sorry, there's one other person I met. He was doing philosophy. He had autism. So I think those that do make it maybe skew more towards autism than ADHD. Not that I have any sort of facts. Just, like, from who I met.
Anecdotal. Well, yeah, I'm not asking you to, like, have run your own research. It was more just, like, what's your experience been?
But, and they all, like, struggle, and it, like, yeah, they all, like, struggle.
That's
So, yeah, so there's not that, like, and the fact that, like, the thing was being like, yeah, they're great professors and stuff, I felt like was, like, honestly, almost, like, offensive, and then it's like, oh, we're seriously gonna be like, it's your superpower, queen, when I'm sitting here, like, can't get my medication. I spent, like, I think, like, $5,000, like, in total, over those 2 years getting my medication, because I had to get re-diagnosed. There's all sorts of other things, like, I had to go private psychiatrist, I didn't have private insurance anymore. Because the public system was, like, backed up for years. Like, blah, 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 right? So, like, people are sitting there being like, you're superpower queen! And, like, they had some student speakers that had, like, kind of very similar, like, from what I remember, like, really similar, like, takes. And it's just like, are we seriously not going to talk about these fucking problems? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, I hate my life. Like, it was horrible. It was horrific. Like, the first year in particular, the second year was more manageable. But it was so terrible the whole way. It sucked. Like, now it's better, because the pacing's a little more sane. But, like, yeah, there's just, like, a really willful ignorance. Or there's a lot of, like, lip service. I also encountered, because I was also, like, diversity rep for the econ department, too. In a lot of things of, like, oh, I have these XYZ concerns. It's like, oh, yeah, we're getting on this. And it kind of just never materializes. Or, like, they kind of move the goalpost or other things. Like, no one has, like, responsibility for it, basically. Or, like, cares sufficiently to actually, like,
do anything
about it. And I don't know if that's true for, like, elite institutions generally. Like, I once met someone who had a friend who had ADHD, I think it was, and they went to a therapist because they were really, really struggling, and the therapist allegedly said to them, was like, well, it's Oxford. Like, you should have known what you were getting into. Like, that was what they said. Which is like, fuck my drag. Show myself out. Like, why am I here? To get shamed additionally? Thanks. I hadn't done that myself. Really hadn't thought of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just because something's, like, really freaking challenging, like, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have any support or, like, you should have known or,
yeah. Especially since, like, it's so, the main obsession is creating a distribution of grades in basically any way that they can. They're not really aggrieved when that happens, to be honest, either, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the whole like accommodation disability services needs to change across the board anyways. Like I know that corporations will like implement disability advocacy teams, but literally they do the same thing that you're describing of like, oh, ADHD is your superpower, how do you use it at work? And then poof, goes away. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to get an accommodation now? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, there needs to be some way that there's like accountability for the suggestions, like action plan. Like, there's like no accountability mechanisms for those like diversity community like committees and other stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I have in my specific college at Oxford, there was like relatively more action because I yelled about it, but like more. Well, I yelled at Eleanor like lovingly. And she worked on stuff, and then I continued the crusade as much as I could. And then, to be fair, the president of like the graduate community at my college, Laura, shout out, was like killer. Like she fought specifically. They fought specifically against the meal booking system because of like I was not the only person that had the problem. Like other neurodivergent people in my college were like losing dramatic amounts of weight and having other problems, and like skinny queens, like
because they like
fought.
Couldn't order ahead essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
forgot
just, like,
to.
Yeah, especially weekends. Like if you don't remember by 10 a.m. on the Friday, like no food. No lunch or dinner on the weekend.
Dumbest system I've ever heard for food.
Most of the colleges don't have it. That's just a people-specific thing. But they basically like gunned it down and eventually started like investigations such that they realized like the point of the meal booking system was to reduce waste and apparently got worse. Or like it's not as good as they thought. So I don't know what happened with that. It takes forever. But their crusade that they started basically at my behest is still ongoing. As far as I know.
Wow, what an asinine system though. Like you have to like with the insane workload and pacing and testing and stuff, like all the things you had to do, and then you also had to like tell somebody when you were going to eat by a certain time.
10 a.m. the day of. You have to book your meals by 10 a.m. the day of, including if you bring any guests. No.
Hate that. I hate everything about that.
I remember actually the first few days I went to because like super like crazy over the top dining hall. Like never get used to eting in it. It's like fucking Hogwarts.
Yeah, no, it literally, yeah. He could show you,
yeah,
it looks
Olivia's
like...
seen pictures, it's like
it
insane.
It legitimately looks like Hogwarts. It's insane. Yeah.
But, so when I was there for like the math pre-course, there was like some sort of conference going on, so I went in and like ate and was able to eat for free because I like misunderstood their question when they first asked me, and like I was like, oh, were you at the conference? I was like, I guess, like I don't, it's like, they didn't ask it that way or something, I was really confused. And then someone saw that I came again, realized I was a student, and basically like told me off and said like, don't come back. Like don't come back unless like you booked or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And, like, they basically told me not to come back, so I missed them welcome breakfast, effectively, because I got shamed out for, like, 5-10 minutes in front of the dining hall, if I recall correctly. They didn't just, like, don't come, like, I got chewed into a little bit on it. So I missed the welcome breakfast for, like, the graduate community at my college because of that, because I just, like, forced from it so much, comparably. And I didn't even know they offered, like, after that conference was over, I didn't know they offered breakfast, for like, without booking or anything. I didn't even know I could go get it for a while. Wow. Yeah.
So not only did they have a crap system, but they also, like, none of the information to like access the food was apparent in any way.
No, I had to figure it out. I showed up. That's the first time I learned about the meal booking system, is when I started showing up. When I got yelled at about it is when I learned, which is typical.
Talk about needing direct information and clear expectations.
You also have to get like your own robes and stuff because you have to like basically take your exams in like full suit or close to it and like robes. And no one, like, you kind of find out from the student body, but no one, like, there's no clear guidance given to you by the university. You just kind of have to figure out, and there's only like 2 places you can get it. So it's just like communication terrible. Anyway.
Wait, you have to like be in a full suit for exams?
Did I never tell you this? Want to see a picture?
That I would want an accommodation for that. I ain't wearing anything nice.
It's not so bad with a bow tie.
This
yeah,
sounds
like
very British.
Wild.
God, there you go. Yeah, you can see that's what I set my finals in. So you can see like my little robe tassels. Yeah.
So extra.
Yeah, but
That's
like no
Oxford.
one tells you that directly. Yeah, so there's just like very little information that just sets you up for failure, basically.
Wow.
Was my experience too.
I guess kind of like along those lines, is there anything about your neurodivergence that you feel as a strength in being in your program?
This current one specifically or generally?
I mean, I guess like just generally. It doesn't have to be like right now, but
majority, I do not feel that way.
That I feel like anyone could infer from this conversation.
Yeah, I don't feel very superpowered, except when people are like, "You're superpower queen." I'm like, thanks. Like smoking a cigarette, drinking a handle of gin in the back, like just like trying to cope. Basically, I was not. Honestly, the biggest superpower I feel like I have from it, just generally, like academically, like fine, I think differently than other people, and maybe that's like can be helpful because I approach like thinking things differently, and that can be like value like different perspectives and like different ways of thinking about things. Other than that, academically, no, I do not feel like it.
There's no
Like, I don't.
strength.
No, it's academia is such a like
Dang.
rigorous, demanding, and like set up for not how I am system that I don't think it helps me at all in that sense.
You
What
think
about
it just,
outside of academia?
I feel like the biggest strength of it is like feeling comfortable and immediately relating to like other neurodivergent people. Like you can often tell, and like other people are like really like off-putted or feel awkward by like super autistic people or other things like that, and I just like don't feel that way like at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not nearly that as the way. Even like, yeah, just like broadly.
That's really interesting. I don't know. Because Andre and I have talked about this before, like, what's our favorite part, or like, one of our favorite parts of having ADHD, or like being neurodivergent generally. And I think, like, one of my things is, I think yours, what was it? Yours is like being able to like hyper focus.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one of yours?
Yeah, when I can do it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I feel like mine is a little bit like what you were mentioning in terms of school, but like my like creativity and my being like able to see a process and like make it better or more efficient or like create order out of chaos. I feel like I'm really good at that, and I don't think I would be very good at that if I wasn't neurodivergent.
The only like other benefits I can see is like things that have resulted out of my personality because of like the suffering I've gone through from being neurodivergent that makes me think about things and care about them. Like to be honest about it, right?
Yeah.
Like the
also
kind of like the justice, like injustice sensitivity and things like that. Like, yeah, I feel that real deeply.
yeah.
And, like, will fight on it. So I'm like a decent, I think better than average advocate because like I lose my mind over it because it angers me so much. But
Yeah.
and I'm like willing to like fight people basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of like why you are getting a PhD though, right?
Yeah, that's the whole reason. I wouldn't be doing this otherwise.
Is to like fight for justice for like
Yeah.
marginalized communities and populations.
That's literally
and
the whole reason. It's for Drea, who probably doesn't know this, and all the people who don't. I effectively am trying to get my PhD because I want to mostly do research on like economic welfare of like Native American communities in the U.S. because economists basically do zero research on them, and even like a lot of official government statistics don't like they'll like break things up by race and ethnicity. And if you start like think about it now, when next time you see those, almost always or like most of the time in my experience, like Native Americans not listed, and that's given the fact that natives are typically more or less like the poorest like ethnic community in the United States, right?
Right.
That's
like, cool.
Yeah. So that's the whole reason is because I feel like if I don't try and like better the situation, no one else is going to care.
Like who's going to?
Yeah, which is maybe not explicitly true. I'm sure there are some people that care, but I sure don't feel like I see it.
Yeah.
They probably care, but they don't have the action enough to care.
People think that when they cerebrally care about something, that means that they actually care, but when they don't put action behind it, and I think that's the disconnect for all these like diversity communities and all these other things, right? Like people, and I think people's like how they contextualize their actions generally of like, oh, I'm not a bad person, like, because I don't try to treat people poorly, or like, I don't treat my friends poorly. Well, treating your friends well is really easy, right? Because you like them, you like appreciate them. It's not actually taking anything from you to do it, right? People think they're like, oh, I'm a decent person because I don't do XYZ things to like hurt these communities, or like, oh yeah, I care about like how like disabled people are doing. But then when that demands any action out of them, people don't do anything, right? It just never makes it on the list. That doesn't make them a bad person, but that doesn't mean that you actually care, and it just perpetuates the system.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not. Yeah. It's not sufficient. I'm sorry, world.
Yeah, I think that's like a really good way of saying it, honestly.
Yeah.
And describing it.
It's like an accountability thing.
I think you just found your strength of your neurodivergence is the justice sensitivity. I do actually see this a lot with neurodivergent people, though, that justice sensitivity, that really strong values drive, like, really makes them good advocates for themselves and the, like, communities that they're a part of. Like, I see a ton of that, and I think we need to encourage that so much more.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, too, I think I'm often, like, a decent communicator when I'm not, like, scatterbrained. But because I have no idea what to assume in other things, I tend to be, like, really direct and to the point and, like, A, B, C about things.
Yeah, asking all the clarifying questions.
Yeah. Plot twist. Probably have the autism too. Thanks, Liv.
You're welcome. Also, just to like throw it out there, because we haven't addressed this yet, you got evaluated because of me.
More or less, yeah.
I converted you.
Yeah, you brought it up and I asked my therapist about it. She's like, no, that makes sense. And that's just happened with like TISM, which we'll see. I haven't been actually diagnosed for that, so I'm not going to claim it. But you have at least convinced my therapist, and then when we ask more things, because I don't like have any insight into myself personally, right? I don't feel like my mind races because I don't know what a normal one feels like, right? And I don't like feel like I ask tons of clarifying questions because I never really realize that people do that.
Right.
Yeah. So what feels normal to me, like you're saying, like, oh, the routine's super, like, you have like certain sensory issues and like routine's like ultra important. I'm like, I don't feel that way, but like, oh yeah, if I don't take a shower before bed, I can't sleep. Or like, oh yeah, like there are cracks in the sidewalk, and if I don't have like the pressure, like the indentation, the pressure, and like the angling and like the coloration and the shadows, like all even and like different parts of both of my feet, like that'll bother me oftentimes. Yeah, unless it's impossible to keep track.
Did you get double vaxxed or?
Give me them tism. Yeah.
I don't think you need to go pay.
What was
for
it, the
diagnosis.
Tylenol? My mom was just guzzling Tylenol when she's preggers with me. Is that what it is?
Can I just give you the diagnosis now and just say, like, you don't need to go pay the money? Here you go.
Yeah, I wish.
I'll just give you the slip.
Free psychiatry. Anyway, don't need your free shit. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need your charity. But yeah, and to me, like I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
that doesn't feel weird to me because that's just how it's always been.
Right.
I don't always feel that way, but there's certain like, especially like if it's actually not like so fine, so that's what I can actually keep track of, like where shadows are falling. It's not like a tree, like light going through like leaves. It's just like too finite. Like my brain won't intrinsically be able to keep track of it, so it won't bother me. But times when I can. It's not all the time, but it happens very regularly where like it'll bother me. And if I don't, like I cannot escape that thought. It'll keep counting, and I can't make it stop.
Wow.
So I have to just keep it even so I can have other thoughts.
I mean, that's like, I think that's why so many people end up being late diagnosed neurodivergent, right? Is because their experience is their normal. They have no point of comparison, and they just like think that they're stupid or lazy or whatever it is. And so it isn't usually until other people are like, yo, like the way you operate is like different than me or other people or whatever, or they're around other people that are neurodivergent and they're like, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do think it would have been in some ways harder to notice just because like earlier childhood was like self-loathing, like hated myself because I was gay and like other shit going on in my life, so I was just like messy depressy, right? Like that probably wasn't the most notable thing about me. Like the most notable thing is probably like the suicidal ideation, you know what I mean? Like there's other things going on.
I mean, like clinically speaking, okay, fine.
Yeah. So, like, I'm not, like, begrudging people not noticing that. And it's only when I started, like, not hating myself that I was like, why am I still struggling at all this stuff? Like, I used to, like, hit really depressive episodes where I, like, just, like, I couldn't. I just, like, fall apart. But then I eventually realized that wasn't all just, like, being depressed, right? It was also, like, I just, like...
Don't have the motivation.
Paralyzed, yeah. I just, like, and even if, like... I also like learning that like for most people it's like when you make the decision to do something you can do it. Like for me I always interpret it as like, oh, I'm not doing the thing, I didn't actually make the decision, I like am morally weak. Like even if I'm like mentally trying to make myself do the thing, it's like, no, you're lazy, you're weak, you don't actually care enough or like that as much as you think. And I'm like, character flaw.
What were you gonna say, Andrea?
I don't remember.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
No, I don't even know. Was I gonna say something?
I thought, I don't know.
Could have been.
I also don't know.
I could have.
Who knows?
I don't know. Who knows? I'm out of Fresca, so I'm distracted.
Well, yeah. Why did you take it out of the can? I wanted to match with you.
I was feeling fancy today. I was like, I want to put it in a nice cup, and then
compared to me, you're always like upper crust. Like I am so horrifically ratchet and like
upper
I'm just
crust?
like struggling. Like I can't even get a car that doesn't have no check engine light on it. Like I just got a car and within like 5 hours of having it, the check engine light turned on, got it repaired, and then within like 4 hours it happened again. For the context, so I'm like, cool, killer.
I've been there. I've been in that state. I have an
money to
autistic
spare
husband,
because
so
I am about to be in a debtor's prison. It's not legal anymore, but.
JK's not legal anymore.
Yeah.
A win for justice.
Yeah.
Thanks for humoring us in our like questions and talking about your experience. It's interesting, especially the accommodation piece. I think that's really been on my mind, and I'd be really curious. Like, if there's anyone that's listening and that's had accommodations has been helpful, I'd be really curious to know like what has been helpful for you, because I feel like as things change and we learn more about neurodivergence and what's actually helpful, and we can actually have diversity and promote that, not just neurodiversity, but like all diversity, that we have more accommodations to pull on and like ways to support people, because like you should be able to pursue higher education, you know?
Maybe that choice should be taken from me. I don't know if it's good in my case. But I was also going to say, I feel like people also very much so view accommodations. Like, if you have any at all, you should be performing the exact same way, exact same level. That's not true. That's also like a perspective I've encountered that I hate. I'm so sorry. I just thought of it now.
Oh,
no, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't just stop being disabled, Queen, because you gave me 40 more minutes on this exam.
Right.
Like, I'd give up the 40 minutes and not have these problems like any day.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah. Again, I just find it so fascinating because like I was so late diagnosed, I didn't have that option. And so I just think about that a lot of like what would have been helpful for me. And then I like think about my daughter who's like very clearly ADHD and will like get diagnosed pretty early on, and like what really accommodations would be helpful for her. You know, so yeah, I don't know. It's on my mind all the same. Yeah. So thanks for humoring us and all of our questions, and hopefully we didn't scar you too much.
I hope I actually answered your questions sufficiently and didn't just like go off on a complete tangent too much so that you didn't get to ask all of them.
No, have you listened to our podcast?
Yeah.
Briefly. Very briefly.
It's all over the
My
place.
favorite is the glory hole like clip.
That got like 10,000 views.
My people! Yes,
views.
they're talking about it.
Oh my gosh.
Was it a coffee glory hole? A donut glory hole?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was a coffee glory hole.
Yeah. I actually, in the last episode we recorded last week, I like made a joke that I'm pretty sure we have to bleep out.
I did. I blanked it out.
I know. I'm so bummed. It's okay. I'll tell you after we record, Andrew. But yeah, I like made a joke and I was like, that would be really good on social media, but pretty sure we're gonna have to bleep that one.
I had to go like delete the caption chunk. Like, had to be like...
Wow. I feel very censored. That's okay.
It did spell it right. It heard the word, so...
Pronunciation. Not that... Yeah, that's not a problem for me. Well, anyways, thank you all for joining in. Do all of the things. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye!
I won't catch you. Goodbye.
Bye. This podcast is for entertainment, informational, and educational purposes only. Although the hosts are licensed therapists, this podcast is not a substitute for professional mental health services. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapist-client relationship.
If you are experiencing mental health concerns, please seek help from a qualified mental health professional in your area. If you are in crisis, call or text a suicide prevention line in your country immediately. In the U.S., you can call or text 988 or use online chat at 988lifeline.org.